Volver means in Spanish coming back, returning.
Back, to return.
To return, you know. Tell me the story here. You're the central character, Raimunda.
Oof, the story, a lot of things happen. I mean, for my character, she's very damaged in a way by things that have happened to her in her teenager years. But she survived things that would have killed anyone, and she's become this amazing force of nature. My character gave birth when she was 14 years old. And something very, very strong happened to her there. And things are going on with my daughter, with my husband.
Yeah, who's sort of a couch potato in this film.
Some problems with men, and then our mother comes back to life.
Yeah,
like
but wait, can we tell the story here, a little bit of the story in the beginning or not? I mean, I don't want to give it away, but...
There is so much that we cannot say.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, no, because if we betray the film. But also, you know, because it's a movie that is very difficult to say the story. Yes. If I tell you the story, it looks like a outrageous, scandalous, and crazy movie.
You know, multiple characters and relationships.
Yeah. And the movie is more about you know, the absence of a mother, the relation with the daughter, and also about the very natural relation that the people from my country has with death. I mean, the movie is about motherhood and mortality, but in the way that the people from the place that I was born lives this situation, which is with a kind of naturality that really I admire very much.
She was talking about her relationship to you. You saw her after she'd made 2 films, yes? What did you see?
Well, I see since the beginning, and that was very important, that she was completely, and she is completely visceral. You say visceral?
Visceral?
Yeah, visceral, yeah. And at the same time, something very physical. I mean,
physical and visceral.
Physical in the sense that she walks like the character, but also she feels like the character. And with an incredible strength since she was a child, since she was a little girl. Yeah. So that was, I mean, that carnality and that kind of sincerity that is in her work attract me a lot, and that's why I call her to tell it. Because this is really, I mean, these 2 qualities, this is something that I need from my characters.
Do you see something of Sophia Loren in her?
Well, really, in this movie, we were inspired in Sophia Loren, and we made something similar. I mean, Sophia Loren was very present in the pre-production. In the makeup, in the figure, trying to make all that curves she had.
Yeah.
And also,
so you told her to eat. You did not want to see her thin.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he gave me permission to eat all I wanted, which is always better to hear.
And you had this prosthetic where to make her hips more fuller.
Yeah, because, you know, a Mediterranean mother needs to be big down. Yeah. I mean, needs a big button.
Closer to the earth, you said. You said something close to the earth.
And also, you know, the way you walk with that is different. You know, she's very ethereal because she used to make dance when she was a little girl. So, I mean, she walking up like this way. So with that thing down, the way of walking is different. It's more, she's tired, she's exhausted, she's working a lot. So it was better for the character, not only physically, but also just helping in the way of she moves.
Yeah. It is said that he directs women better than anybody. Sometimes you're compared to George Cukor.
And I feel very shy.
Yeah, but I mean, does he understand something about women that other directors don't?
I think he understands us in a way that is amazing. I mean, he reads our minds. He knows everything that we're thinking and feeling, and it's great to have that on the set. If you have that combined with the level of trust that we have, it's amazing. And I think it's the only way to work with Pedro. You just have to jump and trust, and then you are going to go through an amazing ride. But you cannot go in doubting. Also, he doesn't deserve that kind of doubt. So I've never had doubts about anything with him. He knows I trust him completely.
He knows your soul and heart, you think, when you...
He knows me, and what you were saying about women, he loves women. He's curious about why we are the way we are, and it's true that he writes some of the most beautiful characters for women, but I've also seen characters that he has created for men that are amazing. So
see, I was going to ask that question. Can you do the same thing for men that you can do for women?
I think he's done.
Well, I think I did it already, but there is I see that there is a difference. I don't know why. I mean, perhaps a psychiatrist could explain it better than I. I mean, the movies that I've made about men, they are much more sad, much more dark than the women that I mean, the movies that I made with female characters. Well, perhaps because, you know, when I'm writing about men, I took myself as reference. I mean, the part that I'm more interested in is more in my darkest parts, that the more flamboyant.
Well, I don't understand.
You don't?
The part inside of you is the darkest part?
I mean, if I make a movie with male characters,
yes,
I took myself as reference because, I mean, I belong to the same genre. And I don't know why the parts that interest me more about myself are the more darkest part. I mean, darkest, you say darkest?
Yeah, darker.
Yes. The more sad parts. And instead that with the women is the opposite. I mean, the women inspire me, light comedies, stories full of life. And I suppose that I have a different opinion between women and men than I think you know, the women are more funny, more surprising.
Are they more interesting?
And I think they are more interesting.
Really?
Yeah. And I think they were more lucky by nature.
More?
Lucky.
Lucky by nature.
Yes. This is my feeling. I don't know.
I like it.
And you know, and there is also something that happened in Spain. You can find many better actresses than actors in Spain.
Really?
And that was something that even García Lorca 60 years ago, he said about that. I mean, his plays are more based in female characters, and he said that, well, Spain is a country of actresses, not actors. I hope that there are that many Spanish actors are listening now.
Yeah. There is also this about your films. You always or frequently will use and interject television into a scene.
Yeah.
As you do here. Now, does it serve dramatic purpose, or you just like to do it because it's whimsical?
Well, you know, I mean, TV is everywhere. I mean, it's part of our furniture. But in this case, I do it in a very naturalistic way. I mean, as I used it before, I criticize the kind of TV that we used to see in Spain. What you call here tele-reality, that is
reality
really,
television and all of that.
I mean, at least in Spain, is awful. But in this case, I was trying to be completely realistic, because I mean, the thing that happens in the movie Volver, that someone tell, but you have a cancer. You told me that you have cancer, and you know, and then you have to tell me everything because you know that we are going to take you to Houston, because they, you know, such a cruelty is something that I heard in Spain. So. In this case, I mean, the TV is part of the dramatic element that appears in the movie.
Yeah. He likes to rehearse.
Yeah, I love it too.
You do?
I think you get spoiled after working with him, because I've done 3 movies with him, and the other ones we didn't rehearse that much, but in this one he wanted us to really create this family energy, you know, with all the women. And we spent 3 months working together, and in the morning I had all my activities, my cooking lessons and classes with my sister, and interview the women from La Mancha and this and that, cleaning my house a lot, because that's going to sound terrible, but I was a little bit out of train with cleaning. So my family was like, Penelope, I think she has a fever. Let me do the dishes in everyone's house. That's the kind of thing that Pedro, you know, like every detail has to be, everything has to be real. And we did a lot of table work with all the actresses, and he adapted
sitting around a table reading lines.
Yeah, with the script, and he adapted some of the dialogue to all of us, to each one of us. And at the end, that's sometimes the period of the process that you remember the most, when you were getting in contact with the character and finding it. And it's very difficult to describe, but there are days where, you know, things happen when you know which direction to take, and it's an amazing feeling for an actor. And sometimes you cannot get to that if you don't rehearse, and then you get there and it's not the right kind of fear. Here we were still scared, but it was a healthy fear. You know,
but did you find it in that 3 months? You found out what it was about Raimundo that you had to grab hold to.
Yeah, I felt like he gave us so much information, so much dedication, you know, to all of us. He was really generous to all the actresses, and. But
you were so very generous too. I mean, to be ready to rehearse
But for me,
so many days.
that's the best thing that can happen in a project, to be able to have that time and fly and try things.